feet are still cold.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm good, you bro. I'm good, you.
Welcome back, you guys, to another episode of the Bull City Pioneers podcast. Tuning in your two favorite Latinos. My name is Hector.
My name is Luis.
Today we got another very special guest.
WONDR.
WONDR. I wonder who that is. No, I was kidding. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. So it's WONDR, all caps, correct?
Yes, sir.
Just because, a lot of people, well, Hector got that wrong. I probably would have gotten that wrong too, but it's WONDR, WONDR, correct?
Almost messed it up.
They don't even know that. Cut it out. No, I'm just kidding. But WONDR, who is WONDR? Where did he come from? How did this all begin?
Man.
Also, what's the real name?
Oh, Ryan. Your name's Ryan.
Ryan, okay. Gotcha.
Man, WONDR started back in college. It was
Right.
actually me and a close friend of mine. We started a rap duo.
Mm-hmm.
We were just kind of doing it for fun. It was just, we both liked hip hop. We both
Right.
liked making music. We had a lot of friends that were throwing house shows and parties.
Mm-hmm.
So they needed music, and we figured, why not
Right.
do that for them. So yeah, we were doing that, and we ended up taking it pretty seriously for like our last year of college, just playing shows, putting out music.
What college, if you don't mind?
I went to Belmont, Tennessee.
Belmont, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, we were doing that for a while, but we ended up kind of parting ways after college. He was a little bit more interested in opposite sides of the industry. I think he was getting curious about management and stuff. He'd been doing music and that stuff for a long time.
Right. Gotcha.
So ended up splitting. My brother ended up coming out and managing me in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm giving the really quick story here.
Right.
I'm skipping a lot of things.
Right. I don't worry. I did watch the podcast. If you guys want to watch the podcast with his brother and the Theory podcast, go over and watch it. It's more in depth. It's a more in depth story, but his is pretty cool too. So keep watching, and then go watch that. But yeah, I kind of know.
Just leave right now.
But I kind of know the rough story from what I remember what your brother said. But yeah, continue.
Sure. Yeah. So he came out to Nashville where I was living at the time. I went to school, and he started managing me, and that was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided to really, take the name WONDR and the artist WONDR really seriously as a business and as, an artist in music. And then we started doing artist development essentially. Development, excuse me.
That was pretty cool though.
Right. I was like, bro.
And for the past 2 years, we just been releasing, 1 or 2 singles a year, kind of testing it, seeing how it's doing, setting up certain shows, seeing how that goes.
Feeling out the market, basically.
Yeah, getting to understand who WONDR is, the brand, the sound, and understand our audience a little bit better.
And I know that you're also a model, correct?
Yes, I do. I do some modeling. Yes.
Side on the side.
That pays the bills. So.
I was pretty excited about that one that you did with that one recent clothing brand. You were hanging from the basket.
Oh, Perry Ellis?
That was a dope shoot.
That was really cool because that was my first modeling thing, but it was actually just for WONDR. It wasn't for the modeling side of stuff. So it was kind of bringing that full circle into my artist career and really creating our first bigger brand partnership. Which was super exciting. I mean, they're a killer brand to work with. Mm-hmm. The photos turned out great. Blaine Butler. He came out and shot, and he crushed it. And we had Alias Design out there, and they were doing some video, and they were killing it. And yeah, man, it was a cool.
Winston, shout-outs to Winston.
Yeah.
It's funny too, because after I was vending at this event once in downtown Raleigh, and I met Blaine there.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I started seeing him everywhere. I'm like, where does this guy just come from? And he just looked like a regular dude, like anybody, obviously. But it's like I just met you, and now I'm seeing your work everywhere, and it's just kind of cool too. So.
Right. He went big. He went hard on that, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But you moved out to the Triangle. I know that you and your brother, I don't know if it's a partnership between you and your brother, but you guys have I would say a business, or what do you call it? An agency?
It's a production company.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. A production company.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys signed Leon and AJ as songwriters.
Yeah,
right?
we signed them to our publishing side.
Okay, gotcha,
so
gotcha.
we kind of help them with their contracts,
Right.
and we also kind of pitch their music
Mm.
to synchronization. So
Right.
basically just like film, TV. I have a sync company that I work with, Whizbang, and we kind of added them on.
Right.
And we handle that stuff for them, and then honestly, they're just like a team with us too. We do a lot of other stuff with them.
I know
it's
you
not
guys
just specific to publishing.
Work a lot together for sure.
Yeah,
which is awesome. And not only that, you guys, when you guys get together, y'all produce like dope ass content that is like out of this world. That I honestly think is underrated for sure. And I think that a lot of people, if they would see it, they would say it's underrated. But you definitely have the freaking numbers, dude. You have the freaking numbers. That's the thing. You definitely getting up there, which is crazy. Your videos, your listens are they're growing definitely. Congratulations because of that.
Thank you.
But what are some things that you do to balance out music, modeling, what was it called again? The business portion?
Oh, the production company.
The production company.
Cypher.
How do you balance all that? Because I know you like to go hard, right? I mean, just like everyone on each thing. How do you balance going hard on all those three things, or maybe even more things if that you have going on?
Definitely. I wish I went equally as hard on all of them.
Right.
That's really difficult. It's hard to be like all in on modeling, music, and doing the business side. For the business side, it's good because Sean, who's my brother, manager, and co-founder of Cypher Projects, he handles a lot more of the business side. Right. That's kind of his day-to-day, so it does relieve a lot of that stress for me. But anywhere I can help in between there is nice. It's nice to be able to have some hands in it, but I kind of handle more the creative side of the company. So I'm not focused a whole ton of time on there. I spend 90% of my time just working on music.
Gotcha.
And as for the modeling stuff, I took it a lot more seriously in the beginning, and I think that allowed me to establish a name and a career, so I can book more without having to put as much effort in. Because in the beginning, man, I was working really hard at that, just trying to establish something.
Trying to
so exactly, you kind of have to build those relationships again, and you have to build a portfolio. So once you do that, then booking jobs becomes a lot easier. So I don't spend as much time as I'd like to on that, but then again, my music right now is definitely the most important thing.
Right. That's your
most high.
Yeah, exactly.
In the future, you never know. That could be your bread and butter, and that's it might be your main income, and modeling might be put to the side, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely cool to have knowledge on both sides, because I know there's like models who they need they always have shoots because for marketing and whatnot. And they suck at modeling, dude. And there's some artists that suck at modeling, but that's when the management comes in and the creatives just come in and try to guide the artist through it. But it's cool that you know how to model, because you won't have to go through those struggles, man.
Well, I tell you, man, there was a learning curve.
Bro, no.
Bro,
that's
someone you know.
Yo, that's funny. Nah, no shots, no hate, definitely. But what are some questions that you had after that? I know you had that were in the pot, in the bowl. What did you have to ask them?
So we know that you've done some like festivals and stuff, and you also do like a lot of live performance shows too. So I was wondering, like, because we were talking about your music is like your most like the one thing that gives you the most high out of all the things that you do. So like, you feel more like you gain like more like I want to say pleasure, but like from music when performing in at a festival, because it's a larger crowd, it's just like a lot more, it's louder and there's more people, or like from say like at the Wicked Witch or something like that, where it's more intimate and it's a lot smaller people.
I think the more intimate crowds are definitely like your biggest opportunity to get a hardcore fan and someone really engaged in your music. You have a lot, you're not looking at a bunch of people, you can kind of just focus in on these 20, 30 people and then pick out like 10 of them. It's a little bit easier just to hone your focus on those shows. And I think those are super important, because that's where you really do get to like see the artist raw. You know, it's not like there's all this other noise happening. It's just the artist performing in this small venue, and it's super personal. So I really do enjoy those experiences just because it's cool being able to do that, you know.
Right. And are you the type of artist, because, you know, I've noticed always that, you know, I always pay attention to this because it's kind of funny to me. There's always the artists that when they're on stage, they move back and forth from each corner of the stage like a shitload, you know what I mean?
I've been there, bro.
I feel like those are the beginning people, you know?
Right.
Like, give them some slack.
No. I've
done it.
No, see, that's the thing. I've seen even like legends do this, you know what I mean? And sometimes it just depends on like how hyped they are, or like how much, even, you know, how much energy they have on them. But then there's the artist who just stands in one spot and just, you know, flows, and, you know, the music flows out of them, but they just stay in that one spot. What type of artist do you think you are? Or if you're both, what determines what you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for sure it's finding a happy medium for me between those two things. I think there's certain records where just the vibe is right for you to like stand there in front of the mic and just kind of rock out.
Right.
And there's other records that are definitely more crowd engaging that you need to definitely explore the space. Yeah, it really just depends on the record, man. It's so important. The mood.
Explore the space.
Explore the space.
I like that. I like that.
I remember this one show you did at the Wicked Witch.
Yeah.
And I think it was the second show that I ever went to, or that you were like performing at. And you came out like playing on the keys, and then like, you just heard it in the crowd. Like everybody's like, "What?" Like, keys.
That's crazy.
And like you were going ham on it too. And I was like, "Oh shit!" I think I'm pretty sure I played that way too. I think I never saw you play keys until that day too. So I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
Yeah. Yeah, I like to incorporate the instruments a little bit because I grew up playing instruments, and I started on guitar. I was the first thing that got me into music. So, you know, it fell off for a while, me playing those things, because I didn't have the space, or I didn't have the instruments with me at the time, because I went to college, you know, I had to live in an apartment. It was harder to be able to do all that stuff. And you get distracted, you know. But recently, man, I've just been playing a whole lot. It's nice to get back into it and really incorporate it. And I think it's nice for the fans. I think it gives them something different to listen to, and makes them excited to be able to see that. So.
You don't see that often either. Like, you don't see
you don't see the whole
lot of the instruments.
There's definitely some
like the main
talented people here do it though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's a girl who plays the guitar.
Imani Presley?
Yes.
You had her on the podcast.
Man, dude. I saw her in Wilmington, and she ripped. Dude, I was like, what?
Yeah, what the fuck? What's the thing called where she puts the tube in her mouth?
The squat.
Yeah, that's when that happens. I'm like, bro, like I'm like a kid at a candy store. Like, what is that? How did you do that?
Dude, she's raw.
When we first had her. And then Winston met her for the first time. He went nuts.
Right, he was a fangirl.
Oh no,
he was fanboy.
That's awesome.
Right.
I love that.
It was funny, man. It was mad funny.
That's funny.
So have you ever considered using the little tube thing, or have you tried it? And you were like, nah, it's not my vibe or whatever.
Honestly, that'd be pretty cool.
Right.
Like, the first time I ever heard that was, I don't know if y'all know Peter Frampton, but he has like this classic song where he would make his guitar talk. And he would use that to do it. He'd like be playing a solo, and he'd be like saying what the song was, and I thought it was bad. Like I was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like, right. But at some point, I think it'd be cool if I really start getting into using the guitar.
Just try it out. You know what I mean?
I've always wanted to try it.
Right. Just to have. I mean, even if you don't release music, you know, with that. What is it called again? Sorry. Talk box. I mean, it was just, you know, have fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So definitely.
So you play guitar and keys. You play anything else?
Yeah, I play the drums. I played the drums a lot when I was younger.
Right.
That was probably like my main instrument for a period of time. But it's been so long, man. I can't have a drum kit.
Oh, really?
You know,
you don't think you could be able to sit down and like?
Oh no, I could definitely sit down. It'd take me a minute to get back into it, but it was just like we moved into apartments, and then like you store it, and then I ended up selling it. That's
right. Not only that, the regulations at apartments, bro, they're so high.
Yeah.
You can't
throwing drugs into an apartment complex.
Bro, you drop your phone by accident, and then you get a write up or whatever it's called. Too much noise, you know, complaints.
Notice of eviction.
Right.
Hitting my room isolation.
Right. Yo. I would totally do that. But what's the second question you had, Anthony?
I was gonna actually reminisce a little bit about like when I was talking about the festivals. The very first time I saw you perform was at Summer Days Festival, and I was with Leon and AJ. We had done like a giveaway like with the ticket, and we brought somebody else with us too, and then we saw you perform. So it was mad dope. I don't know why like I didn't actually introduce myself to you. Because I think I was still in like a phase of mine where I was still kind of like hesitant to like approach people a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh,
quiet
shit.
Hector.
Yeah, a little bit.
Quiet Hector, right.
But how Hector.
Yeah. What's the word?
They don't know about that.
This audience has no clue of what I looked like before we started this podcast.
Jack,
please trying to remember. Like,
I was trying to remember. Right. I really don't. To be honest with you. No, for sure.
But have you done like many other festivals as well?
I haven't done any other festivals since then. We're going out to South by Southwest March 16th. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be like my first time going down there, and then as well as playing in the festival. That'd be cool.
So if you're down there, buy your tickets, go see him.
You're gonna be in Austin.
Right. And I know that you lived in California for a minute. So what exactly, I think you might have or might have not answered this question. What brought you to the Triangle? Like, why specifically Raleigh? You know what I mean?
You know, I just wanted to like ride the coattails of the artists here.
Right.
I just thought that was like the best way for me to get
right.
there.
Oh, heck yeah.
No. I grew up in Raleigh. My family's all from here.
Gotcha.
And you know, I was doing music here way back in high school.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Gibbons. Yeah.
Gibbons?
Shout out Gibbons. They're behind
Cardinal
UNC.
Gibbons?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure everyone knows. Right.
No, it was an alright school. I had a lot of close friends from there, but you know, it's one of those things.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people when they're gonna be listening to this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Cardinal Gibbons." Yeah. That school. I don't know back then, but nowadays.
No, back then it was the same.
Oh, it's the same. Oh, really?
I mean, it's like
right.
I don't know. There's just a certain reputation schools get. That's just kind of how it is.
Right. I went to Durham School of Arts, and one thing that was always a better taste when we had when we played them in soccer is like, oh, it's all the rich kids and stuff. But like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was like a group of 4 guys that I got along with like so well when we played. Like we were like brothers. Yeah. And one dude actually contacted me like a couple years later. I mean, he was like,
when was this?
Huh?
When was this?
My freshman year in high school.
What year?
I graduated in 2018 till 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry. So you're 12 now?
Yo, what year did you graduate high school? You don't have to say it if you don't want to. Not on camera.
No, 94 is already on my
The people always picks on it for it.
No, dude. You can kind of make the calculation if you figured out.
You look older with the beard.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. He looks young. He looks older than me, man.
You look older than me.
Oh, really?
Sure. Yeah.
You are 23?
Yeah.
You look 14, bro.
Hey, bro. But at least when you're 80 and I'm like 86,
You right.
50.
Y'all are gonna be like,
Yeah, right. We're gonna be looking way off. I just turned 20, bro. Like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thanks, man. Thanks
for
sure. Bro, I even forgot what we were talking about, to be honest with you.
What were we talking about?
Oh yeah, so you came to the Triangle. So you grew up in Raleigh. What took you to California?
Music. I think just you hear a lot about Los Angeles being a good opportunity. And I was in Nashville, Tennessee. It was great. I love Nashville. I made some of my biggest connections, and
biggest country.
It was a huge country. Sure. But I learned everything about music pretty much there, just in terms of producing and writing. But I needed a scene that was more hip hop influenced, R&B influenced, and that wasn't super prevalent there. I mean, there is a ton of artists coming out of Tennessee, Murfreesboro, Memphis, Nashville even. But I wanted to go out to LA. I had a sister who lives out there, so I figured I'd crash with her.
Easy.
And we can check the scene out. I had a lot of friends living out there already doing music. And dude, it was I loved it. I loved it.
How long did you stay? What amount of time?
I was there for 7 months.
7 months.
Yeah, and dude, it was great, man.
Do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it was so so easy to get into like just different events and you know, scenes and get to work with other people because everyone's out there trying to work and do things and there's something going on every night and it's very easy to find. That's why I love it so much. But honestly, the craziest thing is moving back to North Carolina has been the best business move for me.
Okay, that's awesome because a lot of people, they say, like, I don't know about if you know much about this, but like, usually Northerners or West Coasters or whatever you want to call them, they usually move to the east side of the country just to complain.
Yeah.
Just to complain. Like, just to
go back.
Oh my God, like, there's nothing to do here. There's no parties going on 7 nights a day, 7 nights a week. Like, I'm like, okay. I mean, but you couldn't afford rent, so you had to come here. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, we're gonna say how it is. You know what I mean?
Throw smoke all this whole episode, man.
Why do people come over here? Because
the
standard of living is kind of better. I mean, rent is cheaper. I mean, everything is much cheaper. So. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Hey, for now,
don't complain. Right, for now. Actually, no, it is rising. I can't even lie. It's rising. It's freaking rising. Yeah,
gentrification. A lot of smoke.
Right.
That's going to be the clickbait.
Yeah. Bruh. So how do you feel about what people are calling the Renaissance in North Carolina? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing for you, of course?
Yeah, I think, a real thing. You know, whatever attention North Carolina can get right now is a good thing.
Right.
I think it's awesome to see how many talented artists are kind of coming together. Not just artists. I'm talking about like everyone in the industry, from radio to DJ, to people doing business, PR.
Right.
It's really cool because everyone's working so hard to keep this wave rolling that has been created. And dude, there's been so many crazy artists that have come out of North Carolina, but I think we just never capitalized on it. You know, like Jodeci came out of Charlotte.
True.
You got J. Cole, you got the baby, P.D. Pablo. Dude, there's countless people. Like, dude, there's so many. And ASAP's been through here. Like, I can keep going, but it's nice that we're finally like taking advantage of what's happening.
And one thing that I feel like it's been kind of like a factor is because other states like California, New York, Texas, even Tennessee, they've all had that platform that served kind of like as a trampoline for artists. Yeah. You know, underdogs to just jump, go big. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now North Carolina is finally starting to have that what I would call that trampoline, where it's a platform for underdogs to just go jump, go high, go fucking hard, go crazy, get crazy amounts of views and shit. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that term that, North Carolina is starting to begin to have that trampoline of a platform that boosts artists, or would you say that we're not there yet?
I think we're on the road to being there. I think there needs to be more business. Music business. There's a lot of artistry, there's a lot of, engineering, recording, all that stuff happening.
Definitely.
And there definitely are a few like businesses popping up, but I think there needs to be more of that. Like more labels.
Right.
Just more of those guys coming out and being like, hey, like we're signing artists and we're giving them these platforms.
Right.
Because I think that's a thing. Yeah, like Atlanta has all these record labels. Chicago has record labels. Nashville's record labels. And I'm not saying like labels are like super important, you need to sign to a label, but it's even the independent labels, they're becoming super established in those areas.
It's definitely like structure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely structure to the whole music thing in North Carolina. You need structure at one point. Yes, you can, do it another way, definitely. Mm-hmm. People always pioneer a new way of doing things and getting famous, and especially now since you have like YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify, and all these good platforms. But definitely structure as well, and record labels is definitely a form of structure for artists to just start being birthed. And,
not just labels, man. Anybody doing like some kind of business in music, I think is good here. Just outside of just performing and stuff.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. So what's the next question you had for?
I was actually interested in it's not even music related. It's just more kind of like likes and dislikes that you have. So likes and dislikes.
Oh, okay.
So like stuff that you're just into.
You talking quiet again, Hector, bro? Speak up, bro. Sound like a little girl.
I know that you're into racing.
Yes.
You got a racing tee on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you been
Shout out to Out the Box.
Have you been to the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte?
I've not been to the Hall of Fame yet, man.
gotcha.
I've passed it so many times.
Right,
I've been to plenty
right.
of races in Charlotte, and
Right.
I'm kicking myself that I still haven't gone there.
Right.
But maybe it's for like a special moment. You know?
It's a dope little museum. I mean, it's a little.
Yeah.
There's definitely bigger ones.
I think you invited me once, didn't you?
Yeah,
you
sure.
were gonna go.
Right. Yeah. For my best friend's birthday. Yeah. It was pretty dope. But I definitely want to go there. I just explore the whole city.
Yeah.
While I'm there.
You definitely invited me
Yeah.
to the race. Right?
Yeah. I appreciate it. Was it Charlotte or Miami?
It was in Charlotte.
Yeah.
It was definitely.
I don't know what it was.
Race. So where do you race?
Definitely Charlotte, bro.
You want to come to Miami, bro? Bruh.
Like the same day.
Tomorrow, Miami.
Bruh.
Yeah, one day.
Okay, so tell me more about this racing. Do you build your own car? Do you have a specific car?
Oh man.
What's
not
up?
on
That would be
not on
cool.
that level. Not
Yeah.
yet.
That'd be dope though.
That would
Yeah, it'd
be
be
dope.
that's
Right.
you know I definitely want to make that
I think.
a thing in the future
Right,
where
right.
I can focus a lot of my time on just getting involved more in the racing
Mhm.
because I really do love it. You know, I grew up driving cars and racing go-karts and just being super obsessed with
Right.
cars.
And adrenaline.
Yeah, and
Oh, yeah,
adrenaline,
that's the big
speed.
part
I think
of it,
I was just
yeah.
like obsessed with that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I still am. And I grew up watching the races. You know, I went to a few races in Charlotte when I was really young. I saw a senior race,
Oh wow.
and I think that's like I just was obsessed with Dale Earnhardt Senior.
Right,
Like I don't know what it was, man, but I was like obsessed with him.
And that's also a scene. I don't know if you've noticed this, but that's also a scene. It used to be bigger back in the day. Definitely, like
Yeah, sure.
people say in the 80s, like North Carolina was like a big racing state or whatever.
Mhm.
And now it's just like reviving, but not like the professional way, the official way.
Yeah,
But now definitely like the underdog, illegal way where
yeah.
you know.
Illegal way.
Yeah,
It's got street races.
You're right. The pimped out, riced out Hondas and shit.
Wait, what did you just say? Riced out? What did you say?
Riced out, yeah. Bro, it's definitely a thing, man. It's definitely a thing. People are riced
like
out.
me because I don't know what that term means.
So it's like, it's basically
Riced out?
Hondas that you want to explain it?
No, I'm
No,
not
you
gonna
say
explain
it.
it. dude. I'm not gonna
In case he's
explain
wrong.
it.
All right.
I'm letting you have this one.
All right. So basically, just
What is rice now?
basically a bunch of guys with shitty Hondas that they try to make them faster. That's the way I see it. I don't want to insult them too much. I've thrown enough shots
Today.
I'm just gonna say that about it because I have a couple friends that watch the podcast. They're racers.
So they're gonna rip you.
They're gonna rip it apart. Right. So
what are you doing?
I'm just getting ready for it. I'm getting ready for it. You drop your address because definitely.
I was not involved.
Bruh,
You know what this means now, though?
What?
We gotta go ham at the Frankie's go-karts.
Bro,
Frankie's,
dude.
Bro, did you grow up going to Frankie's live? Went to the
I went to
go-karts?
Dale loves Frankie's, but
Oh.
dude, they were like, so it was like fun spot, and then
Right.
Frankie's opened, and we're like, holy crap, these
Oh.
go-karts are so fast.
Right.
And then, have y'all had a Rush Hour? It's over in it's over in Garner.
It sounds
Oh, no.
familiar.
Those-
Oh, it's go-karts too, right?
But yeah, it's only a go.
Right, yeah.
And you wear the helmets and the neck
Right.
braces. Now they have like
Oh.
axe throwing and stuff, but
Right.
it's
Neck
the
braces.
carts go like 20 miles per hour. Oh yeah, they got like the whole. They have like leagues and stuff. I did a lot of that growing up. That was
Right, that was mad dope. Right. Did you have your own go-kart growing up or no?
No, man, I
No.
always wanted
That was
one,
sick.
but
Right.
it cost a lot of money. to get
Dude,
good.
hell yeah, dude. It's like it's a shitload of money, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I
Next
might
time,
have to get a loan. No, I'm just kidding.
I used to have a four-wheeler.
Yeah, get a load on the car.
Used to have a
Yeah,
four-wheeler.
quad.
Yeah, one
Nice.
of those.
Dude, I wanted one of
big
those
wide
so
ones.
bad too.
Me and my dad, I think I was like 12. And my dad would take like me and my siblings one at a time in our backyard. And he would just go like
That's
up and
awesome.
down. Like it wasn't no
Right.
crazy like track
Yeah.
kind of thing.
But back then, it's like that's sick.
Yeah, definitely. Nah, I grew up riding horses.
Hell yeah, dude.
Right,
Ringler over here, dude.
right. Yeah.
Little
yeah.
Nas X.
Huh?
Little Nas X.
That's funny. But so what are some things that you do when you're not racing or creating music or doing the business side of things? What are some hobbies? And of course, other than modeling as well, what do you do? Like, what's like a normal Sunday fun day look for you? Or Saturday fun day.
I say you call Sunday fun day. It's a race, bro.
Right. Oh, right. You're right.
That's the one thing. Right.
Dude, I really love skateboarding.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. I grew up skateboarding pretty heavy. I was like such a skate head when I was in middle school. I had like a group of friends that were really into it, and we did that a lot. But I stopped.
What are some skate spots that you used to go to in Raleigh?
Shit, dude.
Are they still even open?
What?
Are they still even open? The ones that you used to go to?
Skate Carry was one of the spots. They didn't have any free like local spots when I was growing up. Now, of course, they have them like in Apex and Chapel Hill. Yeah. But back then, you had to pay. So like it was like Skate Carry, and dang, there was one more.
Were you the type of guy that tried to make like a little skate place in your backyard?
Dude, you wouldn't believe, man, the ramps that we made. Just like we called them all like death gaps because they were just like if you fell in the wrong way, you would get messed up.
So you built like a half pipe in your.
Oh, we were building stuff that would like it shouldn't have been standing.
it looked. It doesn't pass code.
Bro, we were like hammering skateboards to the sides to hold it up. We were using like rails to actually like on the plywood so we could have something, but
damn,
it was a blast.
That's what you call a childhood, my guy. Damn,
we went all out, man, on building.
And your parents had no issue with you doing that?
My mom was like, "This is a nuisance in the yard. She would make us take it down at night."
Bro, you have to like sneak it into the backyard.
Dude, it was we were doing some savage shit.
That's crazy.
I never learned how to like do tricks. All I ever learned how to do was to ollie. That was it.
Dude, that's all you really need to know, man. Cruise and ollie.
Bruh.
Not like a longboard. I can't do longboard. Them things go fast.
Dude, those are scary.
Those are scary. I got on one once, and I started going a little too fast. I was like, nope. I'm out.
I'm retired. That's it. Bruh.
I'm taking down, bro.
Right.
Oh my god.
But just to start, wrapping it up, my guy. You got go ahead. Go ahead.
Because we didn't even talk about it. I don't know why we didn't do it in the beginning, but we had a recent single come out.
Hey,
right. We had to talk about that.
One of the most important things. We didn't talk about it.
Save the best for
last.
Right? No. We saved the best for last.
Right.
But you had a recent single come out.
Yeah.
It's called Sexuwoah, right? Came out on Valentine's Day, so you want to talk about a little bit like the process of how that came together.
Yeah. Sexuwoah is definitely one of my more, I don't know how to say it, just kind of out there records. I think it was something my audience probably wasn't super expecting. I dove a lot more into, a different side of me as an artist, more of my relationships and my past, and something that I'm really passionate about. And I came up with this term sexual just super randomly. I think I was just thinking of sexual in my head. And it just kind of flowed off the tongue. Yeah, maybe I said it wrong, and then I was like, "That sounds cool." I can't really. I blacked out, wrote the song.
Oh, right.
I'm kidding. Can't remember any of the writing process, but it was a while ago. I wrote it last year, probably like October, or maybe even before then. And I've been sitting on the record for a little bit.
It's in the vault.
Yeah, and it was all to like leave room for Jungle Juice. So I could release Jungle Juice first. There's a lot of prep for that. Yeah. But man, Sexuwoah.
I love the cover art for that too, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
Jungle Juice looks amazing. I know that took some
prep. Took some photos. We had a really sweet studio. Ryan Pham came out and did it. And we had a lot of other people on there and that were just killing it. Ben Yellen. Evan was the legs. So
I saw the story when you were like in the process of doing it. I saw like everything going down.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, man. It was pretty funny. But man, Sexuwoah is just a record. It's about that kind of experience with a girl who, you guys are really into each other, but a lot of your friends or your family may not be super into it. And, they kind of want you to break. Yeah. A lot of people can kind of relate in that sense. I've had relationships like that, and, everyone's kind of against you, but that kind of makes your relationship stronger with that person. You want to be with them more because people are saying not to. This is the love right here. Or not something happened here. I didn't know.
I didn't even know what.
Bruh.
I was like, okay.
You might want to cut this part out.
I want to keep it that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like there's people. there's people that are gonna be against, things that you do.
Right.
And sometimes that pushes. Sometimes they're right. In this sense, they were right. This relationship I was kind of referring to.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, just the passion of it was something to write about, and I was excited to write about that. And Sexuwoah was a really cool term to play off of. And I think it's definitely my favorite record I've made. I'm like the most proud of this record. I just think it's a unique sound, and I kind of leveled up in a way in terms of just singing and adding that into the hip hop side for myself. For me,
What's your favorite verse of the song? Your personal favorite.
I think first verse for sure. The intro, just like the fuck with me part. I just or something like I don't know. It gets me.
Say the whole verse.
No.
Right.
I'll let y'all figure that one out.
Right. We're just gonna put it right here. Right.
I thought it was funny though, like the choice of photos that you like chose to market or promote it over the course of before its release. Like you chose pictures of you when you were really little, so like where did that come from?
Dude, I was thinking about the Jungle Juice cover art that we did, and I was like, dude, we really went all out, and this is crazy, and it creates a reaction, negative or positive. There's nothing really in the middle that's like So I needed something that's gonna be kind of create a reaction again, and it could be negative or positive. I had a cover art before then, and I was like just sitting there right before I was about to distribute it. And I was looking through some old photos on my phone, and I found this baby picture. I'm like, oh, dude, I just need to put it right over that, because it's aggressive, because it's like me as a little kid.
Yeah.
But you got this term Sexuwoah, and it's definitely a more mature term. Right. So it was just, I thought it was funny, man.
Hilarious.
I liked it, yeah.
Right, it's definitely funny.
I was like, Little Wonder?
Little Wonder?
Probably
with the co-wonder.
Bruh.
Sharp.
He didn't probably know too much about that, back in this, that picture. No, I'm just kidding. But but to start wrapping it up a little bit, what we'd like to leave the Pioneer Nation with is a question or a quote. You get the option of a question or a quote. Me and Hector do the question or the quote. But what are you gonna do? A question or a quote? That sounded so confusing. I'm so sorry.
So I'm gonna say a quote.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. You can do a question or a quote, or both, actually. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dang, I gotta think about that.
But you can do a quote.
A quote would be great.
Okay.
Okay, I got a quote. Sure.
Okay. And what do you want to do, Hector? Question or quote?
I'm gonna do a quote because I did a question last time.
All right, I'll do a question.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start.
Always go first.
All right, that's cool. Ladies don't go first in this time. What's that's so stupid, but
Burden, dude.
He's just been throwing smoke, bro.
This whole episode.
What's your favorite verse from the latest single from WONDR? Go check out the song and then come back and comment. What's your favorite verse? Right. Okay, Hector.
Stay on your shit. That's my quote.
All right.
Keeping it real.
I should have made that my senior quote, actually.
Stay on your shit. Just put like an exclamation point so it doesn't get like taken out.
Yeah. Well, I should have done that when I was in high school.
No, I know this is totally off topic, but my senior quote was, what was it? It was like,
it was something about a girl.
It was something about a girl. It was funny.
Right. It was like you stole everybody's girl. Or something.
I was like, it was in quotes. It was like, oh, Hector just stole my girl, and this is dash everyone.
No, really?
Yeah.
Man, you need to take a picture of that, bro. Oh my gosh.
No, but
that would go viral. Dude.
The photo was awful, dude.
That's even better, bro. Even better. You need to do it.
Yo, making an album.
I gotta see that.
I'm gonna find
spam the comments if you want to see that, because I want to see it so bad, bro.
I'm gonna come up with the song and do the same thing.
Oh my god, yes. Even better.
Did they let you do that type of shit at Cardinal Gibbons or no?
Oh, dude, I don't even know what my quote was. People did some pretty funny things.
Right.
People had some good ones for sure.
Right.
I'm pretty sure someone said no, Rosa Parks.
Oh,
it was there.
Oh shit.
Their quote.
Damn. That was hard. But what's your quote, man? Sorry, we got off topic.
No, you're good. To quote Ricky Bobby, quoting the late great Colonel Sanders, "I'm too drunk to taste this chicken."
Oh shit!
I like that. Well, thank you again, Brand, for coming out. 40-minute drive.
No, I'm glad I'm finally able to do this.
Right. No, it's awesome to have this type of person on the podcast. You know, from Raleigh, we in the 919, but we show love to everyone from North Carolina, especially the ones hustling like him. For sure. I was like, thank you again for coming out. Once again, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, everything. Oh yeah. Well, where can they find you?
Same thing, Instagram. Definitely gonna be my main spot.
Right.
WONDR94, WONDR, and then WONDR94.com if you want to really get into it.
He has a website.
Yeah.
He official.
Yeah.
Right. But thank you once again. I'm stuttering. Thank you once again. Damn. Sorry, I just came from class, man. I just came from class. I do software development. So like when I read or when I'm speaking in
You thank me once again and we did this one.
Right.
He's thinking in code.
I'm always speaking in code language, so it's like it's a little bad.
1013, thank you. Okay, you got this.
All right. Thank you once again, you guys, for tuning into the Bull City Pioneers podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe. How I said, thank you for once again watching. I'm Luis.
I'm Hector.
WONDR.
We'll see you next time.
Peace.
I totally did shitty on that, but that's all right. It's okay. I just came from class.